So this 5-minute devotional text that we've got today from John chapter 11 reminds me a little bit of part of the plot of Star Wars The Last Jedi. So I'm going to recap it. I'm trying not to give too many, if any, spoilers, but there's a part in the movie where the Resistance fleet is on the run. They're the good guys from the First Order, which are the bad guys, and they're just running in space, or flying, or whatever you do in space, and the bad guys, the First Order, are behind them, and they're catching up, and the Resistance, the good guys, are running out of fuel, and all of their little support ships are getting destroyed, and it looks really bad. And the person in charge, Admiral Holdo, which we don't know, probably if you watch the first movie for the first time you can trust her or not, she's not saying anything about having a plan. She's just running away, and one of our heroes, Poe, gets really mad because he's like, this is not a plan. They'll just catch up with them and we'll all die. What the heck are you doing? And she won't tell him. She's like, get off my bridge. This is the plan. We're just doing this. And it's frustrating because you're like, why don't you do something more effective? And I won't tell you what happens in the movie because that would be the spoiler part. But let's get into the text, and I'll see if you can see how I connect it here. So we've got another long story through a whole chapter like we did in chapter 9. So I'm just going to read the first 6 verses. Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. Mary was the one who anointed the Lord with perfume and wiped his feet with her hair. Her brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent a message to Jesus, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, this illness does not lead to death, rather it is for God's glory, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Accordingly, though Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, after hearing that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was. So the first thing that's really, I think it's just wonderful to picture, is that Jesus had some really close friends. Now, I really miss going over to friends' houses. I'm not doing that right now, at least not inside their houses. And I really miss it because it's a special thing. When you have friends, you can go over to their house and you feel like you can still completely be yourself and relax and be at home with them. And Jesus apparently had this with Mary and Martha and Lazarus. It's a really cool thing. But Lazarus was sick. Seriously, I guess. And so now he gets a message from this house. The sisters sent him a message. The one that you love, your friend Lazarus, he's sick. They don't ask him to come, but I think they know that, hey, if we say to Jesus we have a need, he's going to help. Like, they believe in him like that. And Jesus heard it and he's like, yeah, okay, this illness doesn't lead to death, but it's for God's glory. So it's sort of a reassuring statement. I mean, I would be reassured if I heard that, but what actually happens now is he doesn't do anything. He stays 2 days longer where he is, and he doesn't go and help. He doesn't do anything for days. And this is where I thought of The Last Jedi, because this isn't a plan. This is just doing nothing. You know, if he's desperately ill, and we know that Jesus has the power to heal people, you know, Lazarus is going on with his illness, and the illness is going to catch up just like the First Order, and it's going to be bad. And why? Why, Jesus? So this is one of the reasons why I'm glad we get to break up this chapter into chunks, because we get to sit with this for a while. Because they had to sit with it for days. You don't get that just reading through the chapter. But this is the way it is sometimes, right? I mean, asking God, asking Jesus for something, and either he doesn't do what you expected him to do, or it seems like he's not doing anything. and things are getting worse, and they look bad. If you're in that situation, if you've ever been in that situation, if you haven't, you probably will be. This is a really important thing to remember. It's a situation that happens. And if we were here with the disciples or with Jesus' friends, we wouldn't know the end of this story right now. We would just be waiting. We would just be waiting. We might be mad, kind of like Poe was mad in The Last Jedi. And that's even kind of understandable. So I want to leave us there. Not resolved. Just like it's not resolved for them. And we'll have to come back next time. And it's not going to get better right away, I'll tell you that. But we'll make it through this chapter and see what Jesus eventually does.